Alright, two players close in seating. We have Mr.T-Spin versus Mav over here. You can see instantly that Mr.T-Spin going for the GTR, Mav also going for the GTR as well. But of course, one is building a little bit more quicker than the other, so one will have a bigger disadvantage here, and one will be a little bit of a slower one. But of course, the slower player isn't always down for the count. If they can just snipe player one here, Mr. T-Spin, then it could be in the works for one. Mr. T-Spin set off his chain preemptively. So is Mav, so it's going to be a matter of who has the bigger chain here, popping the more Puyos. It's going to be an 8 chain versus looking like a 9 chain from Mav. Ooh, barely getting another link from there. And it will be burying Mav over there in the dust. Ooh, really good chain battle for the first point of this round. And for all of you, I was going to say unfortunate, but I'm not sure why it would be unfortunate. Alright, round 2. Nice little eye transition, eye base. Well, it's not really eye base, but it does kind of dive into those greens there for Mr. T-Spin. Mav over here has a little bit of a uneven tailing position for them, but it still will connect in the end, provided that those groups of greens. Ooh, that's gonna power us to a 5, however. Mr. T-Spin would have needed more than a 6 to actually counter all that. Strong 2-0 lead for Mav here, who's not using shells this time, thankfully. For me, I mean, does not the characters really matter, but you know, the less Shezzo people, or less Shezzo mains, kind of the better. He knows what he did, but that's not the time to discuss all that. Or maybe it is, I don't know. Like and subscribe. So an interesting way to, okay. Was not really expecting that call here. But how's he gonna make those yellows connect? Okay. Okay, I sort of see the vision here. But he's going to get the yellows he needs to actually complete that chain. Not if Mav has anything to say about it. It may not be the full chain here, but Mav also definitely did get the full chain there. So Mr. T-Spin's gonna have to, probably a misplay from there. Probably didn't need to set that piece there as he was falling down, because the piece was farther down enough to where like he can't rotate it anymore or can't like flip it over to another column. So unfortunate misdrop from Mr. T-Spin, but that is going to be an excellent 3-0 start from Mav. Okay, we're gonna see maybe a bit of a weird start here from Mr. T-Spin. Completed it, but now he has to worry about the transition here. Not a bad transition to do, but you also don't want to make sure you don't sacrifice the base here for that transition. But didn't look like he got the pieces he needed or couldn't figure it out in time. But a strong 4-0 lead over Mr. T-Spin for Mav here. Let's see. More GTR. One looking a little bit more nosebleed cleaner than the other. That being Maeve's GTR, because Maeve's GTR is a little more like even and more clean. I already said more clean. Transition and like the waste Puyos on the right there is gonna limit it to only a 7 chain. Could have been an 8 if the Puyos over there were placed a little bit more towards the left and more used for the chain rather than just throwaway pieces. Like I said, a lot of beginner players kind of just toss their Puyos to the side so that way it doesn't mess with the full chain, which unironically doesn't help them in like the back end of things. So kind of some things to like look out for here. Let's see, Mr. T-Spin going for once again another odd decision, or he could be attacking Maeve here preemptively to make sure that they don't get their chain off in time. Looking to be successful for a minute here, so he's gonna go ahead and keep up the pressure here. Maybe he's gonna have to start digging down here though, otherwise they're gonna be touching the X, and that's gonna be their 7-0 loss to the wind. Almost a critical hit, but they did smartfully set up their got themselves another trigger there to use. It's gonna be another 2 chain there, so Mav is going to play a little bit of exhibition mode here. Maybe a taller... Ooh, not enough green to make it happen, unfortunately. Couldn't figure it out, though. That's going to be Mr. T-Spin's first point, but he could turn it back here. T-Spin's all about the turning. Alright, all clear start for both players. Maeve seems to be building normally while Mr. T-Spin seems to be building sort of on the side, but then saw that Maeve building normally. Ooh, you don't want to build normally with that though, because now your whole entire chain is like buried here. So you got to figure that out. Luckily for Maeve, they did put Mr. T-Spin in the right spot in just as much trouble as they are, so they're going to have to figure that out as well. Maeve in a little bit of a better position now, since they did start their excavation mode pretty soon. Excavation means, you know, dig mode for a Puyo, for the older Puyo games, so that's why I mention it in these commentaries sometimes. But regardless, that's going to be Maeve's 6 point there. Match point for Maeve, but Mr. T-Spin, as always, can still bring it back here. We've seen crazier things happen. Probably the cleanest looking chain that Mr. T-Spin has given to us, though probably would have put in the purples on columns 5 and 6 for a smoother tail there. But I'm not the one that's playing right now. It seems to be rushing this Puyo there. Ooh, unfortunate misdraw for Maeve, it looks like, because they put the greens on top of the reds, and then a purple, and then another red. That's going to be a little bit of a tricky transition to go through. So you need a lot of cards for that to really work, besides just like making it, you know, doable. Let's see if Mr. T-Spin has what it takes to spin this momentum around back in his favor. Okay. One chain for Maeve here. A little bit of a chunkier transition there. I'm not sure what Maeve intended to do with the transition over there in column 1, but it seems that they've used the column 1 as their doorway rather than using columns 5 and 6 for it. But impressive impressive 6 chain for Mr. T-Spin. We're not playing Tetris, I promise. But that's going to be Mr. T-Spin's 3rd point here. He could bring this back up. Maeve just has to mess up like about a total of 4 times. And it could happen. I do wonder what Mr. T-Spin will be doing about his chain here. It does seem to be looking like he's trying to do a bit of LLR stacking, or yeah, LLR stacking here, but didn't really see the vision for that, and unfortunately got hit with garbage by Maeve, along with the rush here. But that red could have probably saved them if he fixed it there. The blues probably would have messed it up, but the you know, reds could have always saved there. But regardless, it's going to be a 7-3 for Maeve here. Excellent work to both players.